What is, surprisingly, safe for human consumption? Yule gibbons. Many parts of the pine tree are edible. Pine needle tea is a very good source of vitamin C. A whole box of Nivea cream apparently. I ate an entire box of Nivea cream when I was a toddler and the only after effect was that my poop smelled nice for a while. My biology teacher told us she likes the taste of Nivea cream, and when she uses it, she always eats a little bit. I feel like as a teacher that's something you keep to yourself so kids don't start calling you a lotion eater. Haha, and that's not the weirdest thing she told us, so she doesn't have to fear that. It's always the science teachers that are odd. Not that it's a bad thing though. Had a severely alcoholic patient drink 2 large bottles of mouthwash, Listerine etc., every day for about 15 years. You'd think nearly 10,000 bottles of mouthwash would kill a man, but no. At least, not very quickly. His gut health probably sucked, but his breath was fresh and minty. My little brother did this when he was like 4, well, not 2 large bottles, but he swallowed like a cup full, and my mom freaked out and called poison control. They laughed and told her to have him eat some crackers, laughing my butt off. She did not find it funny. I'm going to combine every ingredient mentioned in here into one hearty meal and see what happens. Human meat, petroleum, mercury, asbestos, WD-40, green crayons, Nivea cream, your own crap, gold, Listerine, rat poison, cum, glow sticks, silica gel packets, toilet paper, and finally, ass. If we go by times, it was mentioned you will mainly eat silica packets, kiwi, and ass. You can eat everything inside of a natural beehive, including the bees. Just don't get stung. Crunchy and spicy. Spicy sky raisins. My roommate didn't believe me when I got honeycomb from a local farmer's market and ate it by the spoonful. Usually I just crush it to get the honey out then spit out the comb, but I chewed up and swallowed a whole chunk just to prove to him that you could do it. Edit. Stop saying well just because you can eat it doesn't mean you should. I didn't say it was a effing food group. It isn't going to hurt you. Unless you eat a truckload. Shut up. Google it, you'll find the same. What does the actual comb taste like? Like honey-flavored wax, because that's what it is. As a kid, I'd sometimes chew a chunk of honeycomb instead of gum because I couldn't afford gum, poor farm kid. A lot more of a workout for your jaw than gum, though. Do you prefer honeycomb or gum now? If it's a matter of prefer, I would say honeycomb, but because when the impulse strikes, gum is available pretty much everywhere at a moment's notice, so I usually end up with gum because of the convenient purchase access. When I actually plan ahead, though, honeycomb is worth the money and is loaded with nostalgia. Edit gum, not gun. When I had my gallbladder removed a few months ago, the doc told me, apropos of nothing, I could eat the stones they let me keep. I mean, I guess they're mostly cholesterol, so it makes sense. I'm so jealous, they wouldn't let me keep mine. I got mine out when I was 12, I'm 25 now and have nothing by which to remember my short-lived, pain-in-the-ass gallbladder. You enjoy those stones. But don't eat them, that's extremely cursed and I can't believe the doc said that lol. Why wouldn't they let you keep them? They're yours. You made them fair and square gallbladder shaped. He probably resold them on eBay as a side business. Which means they're still in circulation and original poster could try to track them down in an epic Ace Ventura-style adventure for his gallbladder stones. Some indigenous tribes eat clay in small amounts due to the minerals and texture. I have 2 cousins adopted from a Haitian orphanage. The orphanage basically took lard and mixed it with small amounts of dirt to feed to the kids. I imagine it was more filler than any notable benefits, but still, crazy to think about. At some level it makes sense in that we do take mineral supplements. People often know but don't internalize the fact that the iron we eat is actually 100% that, but the idea these mud cookies are ever used to fill tummies is depressing as hell. Unpleasant aftertaste of dirt that lingers for hours. This dirt tastes like dirt. Wendy's Frosties contain kaolinite, which is a clay. Edit. Getting a lot of requests for a source since it doesn't seem to be on the published ingredients list. I was told this by a geology professor who had tested it. Interestingly enough, kaopectate, an anti-diarrhea medication, was originally formulated with kaolinite before it was replaced with attapulgite. Attapulgite would eventually be banned by the FDA due to high levels of lead. Damn. Lead was everywhere. Until you know the downsides, lead is super useful. We still use it in aviation gasoline. Lead is, objectively, a really useful metal. It's why it was so damn common throughout history. Our word plumbing even comes from the Latin word for lead. It just has a lot of negatives. Ballast. It's a general-purpose oil for lubrication and rust protection and can be used for metal, wood, and leather. It's completely safe to drink, and it even smells like licorice. I came here for this. My grandma used to feed me this stuff as a home remedy. What illness did you have that required general lubricant as a remedy? I'm genuinely curious. It was supposed to help with basically anything, from a sore throat to constipation. Lubricates the colon to unstick the stuff. Yeah. Sounds plausible. Until I tell you what I got for diarrhea. Was a pretty good lesson in critical thinking? Until I tell you what I got for diarrhea. Butt plug? Gaffer tape. Butt plug, gaffer tape, and Gorilla Glue. Petroleum jelly. Small amounts have been used as laxative and stool softener. My dog ate a whole little bottle of it once. Tried to do it again when I replaced it. I don't know why, but my dog goes ape crap for Vaseline. My son did this. It was quite a diaper. My son did this, too. As a first-time mom, I called poison control in a panic only to be told he may have a pretty interesting diaper, smiley face. He'd already done it once with butter, so I kind of knew what to expect. I called poison control twice in the same week once. I was sure they were starting a file on me, smiley face. I had to call poison control twice in 1 week, also. I swear someone was going to show up at my door to take my kid away. He got into a tub of Vaseline and then 5 or so days later managed to get a dishwasher tab out and bite into it. I had definitely underestimated a toddler's desire to put everything in their mouth. Toddlers are basically just drunk, suicidal little lunatics you have to protect from themselves. Mine never ate Vaseline, but he did take off running with a pencil point side in his mouth. Original poster replies. There is a game where one player is a toddler and the other is the dad. The toddler trying to kill themselves with household means, the dad is trying to baby-proof the house before that could happen. My cat ate some. I can confirm it is a laxative and stool softener. So can my carpets. The man that discovered it ate a spoonful every day and lived to be 96 years old. His name was Robert Chesebrew. My grandma lived to be 97 and did not eat Vaseline every day. My great-grandmother lived until she was 93. I do not know of her Vaseline consumption. Methylene blue, though it'll make your pee turn blue. Original poster replies. That might be a funky upside, actually. It stains really badly. You can get blue underwear, blue toilet bowl, blue car seats. Most people who take methylene blue have bladder control problems. Sounds like a story about a guy who lives in a blue world. With a blue house? With a blue little window? Shellac. Yes. The stuff they use to seal wood. It's used in everything from fingernail polish to candy. It's secreted by a bug. Yummy. Web link. That's so weird because one of my favorite poems is about a guy who dies from drinking shellac. Down the street, the funeral goes as sobs and wails diminish. He died from drinking straight shellac, but he had a lovely finish. Animals with rabies. Just avoid the saliva glands and that general area. Source: asked our virus professor because a fellow student took a bite out of a dead raccoon. Source: asked our virus professor because a fellow student took a bite out of a dead raccoon. What? Why? We wanted to know if he was in danger. Why did he bite it in the first place? He wanted to get inside it and didn't have a knife. The more you elaborate, the worse this gets. What the F? Stop asking questions, we need no further information. This is the best thread ever. I've never seen an explanation reveal even less information than before. Who the F? Charcoal. Well, not the one you'd buy for BBQs, but medical charcoal has a similar composition and is not only safe, but also awesome at cleaning up some unfortunate gastrointestinal interlopers. Edit, and as others below have pointed out, it will also slurp up the good stuff such as medication. Yeah, it's great for absorbing poisons, but it will also absorb any medications you're taking, so exercise caution. Bismuth, the active ingredient in Pepto-Bismol. Look it up, it's a pretty rock. That's none of my bismuth. Pokeweed is edible if cooked properly. I remember my Bill's dad made poke salad. He said the idea is to cook most of the poison out, but leave enough for your lips to tingle. Edit, my sister is the one married to Bill, and his father is now deceased. I don't claim to know how to properly cook it, but the general consensus in the comments are 1. You only want young poke, the toxins build up with the age of the plant. 2. You want the leaves, not the roots. 3. You have to boil the poke several times, throwing out the water each time, to cook out the toxins. The tingle I mentioned apparently manifests as really bad pain in uncooked/undercooked, caused by said toxins. This is by far the most likes I've ever gotten on Reddit, so thanks to everyone so much. Romantic face, hugging face. It was a popular depression food eaten by my family as late as the 70s. They called it poke salad rather than salad. It contains a water-soluble poison that will chemically burn your mouth. Boil it in water, rinse it in cold water, and then cook it. It's like spinach or turnip greens but more fibrous. Playing too much Pokémon Go made me mispronounce the name of this plant just now. How do you think coughings are born? You just light up some dank pokeweed. The little stickers on the fruit you buy in the store. Even the glue for them are FDA approved. I eat stickers all the time, dude. Just be careful with the skin, it's loaded with toxins. I'm not allowed to eat the skin. Lol. That doesn't surprise me. But I expect it is, so if kids eat them it does no harm. Implying my grown ass hasn't bitten into an apple and found half a sticker left over. Tulips. I knew a person who ate a daffodil. Swore she wouldn't get sick when everyone told her not to eat it. She got sick and left work early. None of us were happy about that. I assumed this was a kid until you said left work early and not school. Where were you working? Lamau. Culvers. She was like 18 at the time, I think. Daffodils, on the other hand, are quite toxic. My secret shame. And that explains your mysterious trip to Holland. In World War II, Canadian soldiers were known to give their rations away to the starving Dutch citizens, and they ate tulip bulbs. Dandelions can make a great tea. In French, dandelions are called pissenlits, which literally means piss in bed, supposedly because drinking dandelion tea makes you more likely to wet the bed. Edit. I know that dandelion comes from dent-a-lion. Can everyone please stop commenting on this? It's a diuretic. At my primary school in England, people said that touching them would cause you to wet the bed. A lot of restaurants here in Western New York offer steak and dandelion sandwiches as regular menu items. For instance, there are other fast dining joints in the area that offer them, one of them being half a mile from my job. Meanwhile, I'm outside every spring pulling the effers out of my yard. Edit. I never realized dandelions were bee-friendly. My old house had a dedicated garden, tulips, peonies, etc., that were rife with honeybees during the spring and summer. Since the garden always preoccupied the bees, I never noticed them around the dandelions in my yard. Just moved into a new house a few months ago, so I'll keep this in mind. Web link. Charge the restaurant to come pull fresh, locally grown, organic dandelion straight from your yard. Pretty well, the whole plant is edible. The leaves are great in salad. My grandma told me they're sweet/less bitter before they bloom. TBH, that is often the way, as the bit before blooming is the growth stage, so a younger plant, and then when blooming more sugar and resources go into making the flower. I love eating stinging nettles, but apparently, you only want to eat the shoots. Once they start to flow air/seed, then the rest of the plant builds up crystals in it which can aggravate the kidneys and bladder. Dog/cat food. The FDA requires pet food to be human grade because during the Depression so many desperate people died from eating pet food. Adding, I did not expect this to blow up. I haven't done extensive research on the topic, but I learned about this in a college-level history class. Thank you for the awards and upvotes. I love Reddit for the complete randomness that brings everyone together. Also adding, I'm honestly amazed by the amount of people that have ate dog/cat food. I never would have guessed. This is what I was scrolling to look for. People that work in the pet food plant eat this stuff to test it. They can tell whether the recipe is right, off, wrong, whatever, by the taste. Act like it's no big deal too, haha, not really my thing, I got to say. Part of my initiation when I started working for a major pet food company was to eat some dog/cat food. I'd recommend a stronger flavored red meat option with gravy over the chicken and jelly recipes. Beef chunks and gravy on a jacket potato is okay. It's not great, but I've paid for worse. Fun story, back in 1987 I hiked around the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and met a few hikers who recommended carrying a pound or so of dry dog food as emergency rations. The idea was that you would never have to as a first choice, but if you were that hungry due to miscalculations, you could eat it to get you through to the next stop. Edit, oof, this blew up. Thank you for all the upvotes and the award. Second edit, for those of you asking why not a pound of human food, the idea is that you have something only for emergencies that you won't want unless it is an emergency. Jerky is actually pretty high value, and at the end of, or during, a day of hiking uphill and down dale, you would totally go ahead and eat it, but with dog food, as in the Terry Pratchett quote below, you look at it and think of literally anything else for food. And a pound or so is an arbitrary amount. Just take however much makes sense. Once in a while, a guy could break an ankle or otherwise injure yourself, which makes it harder to forage, so it is nice to eat. Third edit, for those asking why dog food, it was just a recommendation, and it was 1987. We were using external frame packs. MREs were hella expensive, and REI wasn't really a thing yet. A lot of the hikers I was with were wearing gigantic cleated hiking boots that weighed like 4 pounds each, and if you bent over, a dinosaur ran up behind you and bit you in the ass. Things are way better now. Edit the fourth, on a serious note, thank you all for the upvotes. American soldiers in World War II had a similar thing, an intentionally ruined recipe for chocolate. No one wanted to eat it, but everyone had some. So they would eat normal food until they were away from supply lines for too long. Then it would save them from starvation, because it didn't matter how something tasted, just that it kept them alive. The D ration. Tasting a little better than a boiled potato, so they would only eat it as a last resort. It was miraculous, the dwarf bread. No one ever went hungry when they had some dwarf bread to avoid. You only had to look at it for a moment, and instantly you could think of dozens of things you'd rather eat. Your boots, for example. Mountains. Raw sheep. Your own foot. Terry Pratchett, read Discworld, you won't be disappointed. I was going to be thoroughly disappointed if dwarf bread wasn't mentioned. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.